Imagine walking into a cozy local bakery in Anchorage, Alaska. The air smells of fresh bread, sweet vanilla, and warm pastries. Behind the counter stands Robert Hansen, a quiet, stuttering, soft-spoken man. He is a respected local business owner, a married father of two, and an expert wildlife hunter. Everyone in town knows him as a gentle neighbor who wouldn't hurt a fly. But if those customers knew what was hidden inside Robert's private airplane, they would run out of the shop screaming. Because this ordinary baker was living a double life, hiding a dark obsession that turned the frozen wilderness of Alaska into his own personal hunting ground. To the local community, Robert was just a hardworking man who loved hunting wild animals in the deep forests. But in reality, Robert had stopped hunting animals a long time ago. He had moved on to a far more dangerous game: human beings. His strategy was deeply calculated and terrifyingly simple. He would drive through the dim streets of the city at night, looking for vulnerable young women who wouldn't be missed right away. He lured them into his car, took them to his isolated home, and chained them up in his dark basement. But the true nightmare began when Robert drove his victims to a local airfield. He owned a small, private bush airplane, which allowed him to fly deep into the vast, uninhabited wilderness of Alaska. He would land the plane on remote riverbanks, miles away from any civilization, roads, or phone signals. There, surrounded by towering trees and freezing winds, Robert would unlock the chains, look his victim in the eyes, and tell them to run for their lives. He gave them a short head start into the dense forest, pulled out his high-powered hunting rifle, and began the hunt. For years, Robert's twisted game worked perfectly. The victims were completely lost in the vast, dense woods, frozen by fear and blinding snow, with absolutely no way to call for help. Robert would track their footprints through the wilderness like an animal, using his expert hunting skills to find them in the dark. He believed he was completely untouchable because Alaska was so massive and isolated. The local police simply classified the missing girls as runaways, never connecting the disappearances to the quiet, stuttering baker in town. But every predator eventually makes a mistake. In the summer of 1983, Robert kidnapped a 19-year-old girl named Cindy Paulson. He chained her inside his secluded house and then drove her to the local airfield, preparing to fly her out into the deep woods for his next hunt. But while Robert was distracted loading his heavy gear into the airplane cockpit, Cindy found a sudden burst of adrenaline. She managed to slip her hands out of the chains, open the cabin door, and ran toward the main highway, waving her arms in pure desperation until a passing truck driver stopped to pull her inside. When Cindy told the local authorities about an ordinary baker who flew her to a secret airfield, the pieces of the puzzle finally fell into place. The police secured a warrant and raided Robert's comfortable suburban home. Hidden inside his secret room, investigators discovered a dark trophy collection, vintage jewelry belonging to the missing women, and a hidden aviation map marked with tiny, handwritten red X signs deep in the forests. Those marks showed exactly where the bodies were buried. The quiet baker was finally captured, exposing one of the most calculated hunting operations in modern history.